had a request for this song. It's one called Like Sonny. This is a song that is written by Munde. So let's start with the chords. The A section is C, D, G. That's a G7. C, D, G. Same thing. C, D, G, E, A diminished, B minor, B diminished, A minor, A flat, G. Those are the chords over this section. So we have A, and then A diminished with a flat 9 in the melody. And then B minor, B diminished with some out there melody notes on the top. And then A minor, A flat, G. So C, then your B7 chord, E7, A7, D7. When you have this 3-6-2-5 progression that we're about to have, you end up with this descending chromatic tritone, which let's identify the first tritone here. So B section, the B chord, B7. I'm using this voicing. I'm not doing anything on the E string, so don't get thrown off by that. But it's B, A, D sharp. Root 7th, 3rd. Now the reason that I'm using this voicing is because it sounds good. And the other reason that I'm using it is because it sounds good going to resolve into the next chord, which is an E7. Now, what we're going to end up with here, I'm going to skip ahead here and show you what I'm talking about, and then I'll come back and show you all the notes to these chords. But what we're going to end up with here is B7, E7, A7, D7. So you have this descending tritone that goes with all these chords. B, E, A, D. So B, A, D sharp, and then you keep the B note and just move these two down. Then you have B, G sharp, D, which is the 3rd and 7th of the E chord. You have the 7th and 3rd of the B chord, then you move it down, you have the 3rd and 7th of the E chord. And then you move the same shape that was B, you move down to A, and you have your A, G, C sharp, which the G and C sharp are the 7th and 3rd of the A chord. And then you leave the A in place, and you move that tritone down to, you have A, F sharp, and C. And then the 7th and 3rd of the A chord moves down to the 3rd and 7th of the D chord. Woo! So, so going through this chord progression, C, D, G, you know, all diatonic chords to the key we're in. 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1, 6, 2, which is the A, then 2 diminished, which is walking us to the 3 chord, which is the minor 3 chord, which is diatonic to the key, to the B diminished, which is a walking movement chord, to the A minor, which is the 2 chord, diatonic to the key, which now, you may know this, a classic tension resolution chord progression is 2, 5, 1. In this case, that would be A minor, D, back to G, since we're in the key of G. 2, 5, 1. A minor, D7, G. However, in this particular case, Mr. Munde has employed, for musical reasons, an A flat, which is the tritone substitution for a D chord. So this is an A flat 7 chord. This is a D7 chord. A flat 7, D7. Look familiar? Just like the stuff we were doing. So here we are. A flat 7, D7. They share that tritone. So anyway, A minor, A flat, G. That A flat is taking the place of the D chord. I think that covers the chords in this song. So, but I'll show them to you a little more slowed down here. So the A, I showed you the B section already. The A section, we're working backwards here. The A section is C, D, G, C, D, G. You can throw that 7 in if you want. Right before it goes back to the C. C, D, G, E, E7. The same E that we use on the B section. And then A, which is C sharp, A, E. And then you flatten the E and you flatten the C sharp and leave the A there. So that's your A diminished, and then your B minor. And then to make it diminished off of B minor, you flatten the 5th, which is this note. So B minor, B diminished, A minor, which is the same shape as that B minor. So A minor, and then you can keep that C note, but you're going to change chord positions, but the C note is still going to be there. it's important to voice those chords really close together so you can hear that tension and resolution really good. Okay, speaking of tensions, now we can talk about melodic tensions here, on which there are a plethora of in this tune. So the melody is pretty straightforward. Let's go through the melody now. It's pretty straightforward on the on the first half of the A section. I'll show it to you as we talk about the theory explanation behind it here. So it starts out with, take this C shape. So that's where we're headed, but it starts out, so, and then you start on that and do the same thing over the D. So, and then, so, which is a G chord. But you don't stop there. You do this G lick as well. Which takes you up to that D and B inversion of the G chord, but you walk C, C sharp, D, and then B. So altogether it would be, whoops. Okay, and then so then it repeats with a different ending. And then I go like this. Which, instead of just going a 7 chord, I do a 7-9 chord because I like the way that sounds. Which basically looks like you're playing an F over a G. Because you kind of are. But if I was to open up to the whole chord, you would see that it's a G chord. But basically, as far as playing the melody goes, you're just chromatically sliding that G down to that F. So here we go again from the top. Here we are now, we just got to the E chord, but the melody remains the same as it did over the G chord, and that's because these are shared notes between the G and the E. So sliding up to the D and B, now instead of being the 5th and 3rd of the G chord, it's the 7th and 5th of the E chord. So 5th and 3rd of the G chord, 7th and 5th of the E chord, which the E chord as a tension sets us up to resolve, to go into this tension resolution sort of circle of fifths kind of thing that leads us back to the G chord. Then we go to these 8 measures of. So the notes here on this A chord are C sharp, E, G, B, and then we go down to the A diminished chord, which is C sharp, E flat, there's your diminished note, A, B flat, now that's just a little, we have your 7th, and then your flat 9. And then we have the B minor chord, where we go B, D, F sharp, A. So those are Those are all diatonic notes there. B, D, F sharp. It's 1, 3, 5 of B minor. And then your 7. And then we have B flat diminished, which is B flat, D flat, E, and then these two notes, G, F sharp. I mean, that's like the, G would be the, that's part of the diminished chord, and then this, that note is just part of the key we're in. Believe it or not, at this point, we're still in the key of G. So let's go over that again real quick. This is... So that's the first half. And then the second half is we got to go down here because we run out of space. So A minor, which is just your straight A minor with a 7th. And then A flat with a 7th. So A minor. Now remember the A minor and the A flat, it's kind of a cool, sneaky, tricky thing. They both share the same third. That C functions as a minor third over the A minor chord, and it functions as a major third over the A flat major or dominant 7 chord. So, and then the last lick of this section is, so G, an open E at the end of your G arpeggio, which is the 6th tension. So that second section would be like this. So all together it would be like this. Okay, you got it. So the melody to the B section goes like this. B, C, D, C, B. And then F sharp, G, A, G. F sharp, G, A, G, F sharp. And then, which is over the E chord, G sharp, B, D, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, A, B, C sharp, A, B. I scoop into it because on the lick before it, and then on the lick before it, you're down, you know. It just makes sense. And then it's a little chromatic lick, which is F sharp, F, E, A flat, G, and then the same as the first one, F sharp, down to E, and then D sharp, D, C sharp, or E flat, D, D flat. And then the coup de grace lick here, which is when you move the tritones around, you can do like that sound. If you take those tritones and move them around in minor thirds, you get a D. So we're on the D chord now, okay? So this, it slides from up those three positions. Flat 7 and third, flat 9 and fifth, third and flat 7. I think I've said more than enough.